Friday morning, can't control it. Fired up and counting every minute. Hands are shaking, eyes are burning. The time has come, yeah, this is not a warning. The week was just so long, we had to let it go. Our problems disappeared, we're not tied up anymore. The weekend is here. Sunday calls, we are sick and tired. Up and down, can you feel it? Up and down.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Johansson show. It's Kurt, and today got special guest, two guys I've been wanting to speak to for some time during my time at Ringside, and now going solo. Two people I know personally, Reece and Rogan. Reece, Rogan, thanks for joining.
Thanks for having us, Kurt.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Now, really excited. Going back to my conversation with Nathan Cruz, somebody we all know, he pinpointed you two as people that everybody should be watching, especially going out of the pandemic. And I've got to agree, like, especially 2019, you guys were going a lot further afield, not just in your home promotion, and making a name for yourselves. So when somebody like Nathan on a podcast, when I asked her, right, anybody in the UK who should we watch, and he's pinpointed you to, how does that feel?
I think for me, who's like known him for a long time, since I was like a kid, it means a lot. We've worked really hard.
Yeah.
It's hard because it's like you want to make your mentors proud.
Yeah.
You don't just want to like constantly go on about it. You don't want to do the red team, constantly asking them like, how are we doing? Is this good? Is that good? But I mean, Nathan's one of those people who like really likes to help people. He is like a natural teacher. So I think it means a lot from Nathan.
Yeah, it does. It means like massive, doesn't it? Like from someone such established as Nathan, it's like put two guys over like us who like not many people know.
Yeah.
It just means so much that we're doing well and Nathan thinks we're doing well, and we like kind of like making him proud. He's our trainer.
Definitely.
Yeah. No, definitely. And like for those of you that don't know Nathan, as nice as he is, and like you said, he tries to help. If you're doing things wrong, he won't hesitate to tell you.
Yeah.
Oh no, what?
If you take the piss and aren't taking it serious, then he won't bother. So for him to give you that validation, like to me, he's one of the best unsigned talents in the world, period.
100%.
So you mentioned it, he was your mentor. So I know both of you came through like the NGW Academy. Reece, we'll start with yourself. Like, when did you first start training? When did you think, you know what, I want to be a professional wrestler?
I think it was about 2014 or 2015, around that area. Like, I was at wrestling as a kid, but then obviously I phased away from wrestling because wrestling wasn't cool. And then kind of like got back in with my friendship group from school and things like that. And yeah, we just kind of like went training once. I stuck to it. They didn't. Like having Nathan there, like say, like was established as he is, like to be able to like pick his brain and learn from him was just so good.
Yeah. What about yourself, Rogan?
I go back a bit further, to be honest. You might remember PWR in Hull. Yeah, Urban Warrior. Less said the better. So I was about 11, maybe 12 when I started PWR. I think my parents got sick of me smashing up the garden, backyard wrestling, and recommended this wrestling school. And at the time, they had no ring. It was just mats on the floor. Looking back, I mean, it wasn't very good. But at the time, as a kid, surrounded by people like wrestling, I mean, it was brilliant. And eventually, I kind of like Reece, I phased out with wrestling a little bit. And I realised that NGW was moving the training back to Eastmount, and I just lived around the corner.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'm going to give it one more shot. I'm going to see if I can do it. And that first session back was incredibly hard. The warm-ups, I was like nearly like 19 and a half stone at that time. I was incredibly overweight and I wasn't really prepared. And AJB, who was running the training at that time, he absolutely killed us that first warm-up back. I was puking in the toilets. I was just not ready, but I stuck with it and it got easier. And when it comes to fitness, it really improved me a lot.
Things like Nathan doesn't do the hard warm-ups or anything to like any particular reason. He just wants you to be like the best you can. Like he doesn't want you to branch out and not be ring ready kind of thing. It's just something that Nathan's like really high on. Like you got to be in ring shape and make Nathan look good because he's your trainer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think it'd probably be around the time where you started, Reece, when I was in the academy, and it isn't easy. I thought, oh yeah, coming from a football background at the time, I was coaching football for Hull City, and I was like, this will be a breeze. And yeah, I shit you not, that first trip. It was tiring. So when you'd been going through it, then you both came out as singles to begin with before your collaboration together. How long had you been training, Rogan, before making your first appearance, if it was NGW or somewhere else?
So with PWR, when I was like inexperienced, to book me on shows when I was like 13, 14, I really wasn't ready. And it was just like battle royals and exhibition matches to make people come to the training facility. But when my first professional wrestling match, like professional, was with NGW, and that was in July 2018, and it was actually as Reece's tag partner straight away.
Oh, brilliant. And what about yourself, Reece?
I think I've been training a couple of years by then. It was me and my partner against JD Boom and Dan James.
Yeah.
And then on the same show, Kaz Crash got injured, and we had a double that day, and we had to go to Beverly from there. So yeah, I got put on that show, and yeah, it was scary, but it was so good.
So for some people, like, again, you're very new to the scene, you mentioned it earlier, so for those that might be listening, like you said, Rogan, you'd done your training, you'd stepped away, and then you came back, and then it is like really hard. Like Reece said, he joined with his friends and he's the last man standing. So like, what advice would you give people if they're thinking, is wrestling for me, or if they're contemplating doing their first training session?
I would say, like, look at it from a perspective of meeting people that like wrestling, meeting people like yourself. So growing up at school, I knew no one that liked wrestling. Yet when I'd go to training, everyone would be talking about Raw, they'd be talking about SmackDown, they'd be talking about the favorites, and that to me, as a teenage kid or growing up even now, it's good to hear other people talk about interests. But yeah, I would say go to a gym, try to get your fit ready and prepared, and I'd come and just meet people. Not everyone wants to be on shows. People want to come to maybe get fit or make friends, and that's perfectly fine.
It's good because like you've got like people like me and Rogan who started, and like you said, we've got things in common with everybody who's there. Obviously wrestling, like it's just a bit of friendly competition during the warm-ups and things like that, just to push each other and motivate each other to do well. Cause we all want to do well in like at training.
Yeah, I think we've both made like really good mates from the training that are now become friends for life.
Yeah. Well, look at yourselves, really. So going through, have an image in your head when you was going through the training. Did you always think actually tag team wrestling is what I'm really interested in, or was it something you didn't really think about until the pairing happened?
I think from the first day me and Reece met, everyone instantly made the banterish jokes that we looked alike. Even to this day, people will ask us if we're related.
Yeah.
Wait, you are not brothers?
But yeah, straight away people were saying like, you've got a team, or at least give it a shot. And Rich one time, the booker for NGW, came down to a training session, and we had no preparation.
No, we didn't.
We were just put into a tag match to see if it gelled, and he did. And he was like, "This is it. Let's give it a shot."
Okay.
Like, I've had this conversation with Rogan before, and like before I was paired with Rogan, I was just wrestler here. Like, I had nothing about me, and I was just out there like going through the motions. But as soon as we got paired together, like we worked so well together, and we come up with ideas together.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, like how much like my career has changed wrestling. Now I've been paired with Rogan.
Oh yeah, I've got to agree. Like, and again, no disrespect to you, it's like any wrestler when they're first going through the academy. It was like, right, what direction will Reece go? And as soon as I saw him, it's literally just been an upwards trajectory since then. Like, it was that's Reece. Like, Reece has got his identity, and for those of you that may not be aware of like stuff, you two you like the throwbacks. You like the school tag team, shall we say? So when you got told you're going to do this pairing, like, what was the collaboration like with you both? Were you both really excited? How was you coming up with what style of tag team was you wanting to be? Thinking of names, how did all that come about?
I think instantly it was studying. I think instantly we just had to start finding like, who are we? We had to start realizing, look, we're not the biggest, tallest guys in the room, but we are like built. We are bulky. So we thought instantly, let's use ourselves as a weapon. That was one of our early ideas. The early name was Hopkins and Raleigh, which was just looking back now, this doesn't work. And I had to find a name that started with an R to go with Reece, and I found Rogan, which literally just means redhead, and it literally just clicked straight away. And behind the scenes, the person that's helped us with the tag stuff is Dara.
Yeah. Okay.
Hugely has been like a second mentor to us in a way.
Yeah, like if we're on a show and like Dara's there, if we've got any problems or we're trying to come up with something, we just go ask Dara.
Yeah.
And Dara's always got an answer for something. Like Dara is so, no disrespect to Dara, but he's so underrated in British wrestling.
100%.
It is crazy.
A lot of the moves and ideas and stuff you'll see have either come from Kev or Dara.
Yeah.
And then we just put them together.
Yeah, well, Reece, you took the words out of my mouth. Like, once you finished, I was going to say Dara has to be one of the most underrated wrestlers. And I think there's quite a lot of underrated wrestlers when it comes to NGW. Like, Matt Myers is one of them as well. And your mouthpiece that you mentioned, Kev Cash. And yeah, for anybody, like, check out that work with Dara and check out yourselves with Kev. When did that pairing come about? When did it was like, right, we've got Reece and Rogan, enter Kev Cash?
So at the time, Kev was in a feud with Boom, and the dude that was going to split up. And I believe, if I remember correctly, the original idea before I came along was to book Kev with Reece.
Just me, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was to book Kev with just me as my mouthpiece because I lack confidence in promos and things like that.
And then as time went on, we became like the heavies for Kev in this feud with Boom.
Yeah.
And it kind of just gelled really well.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. So when you was on about studying matches earlier, like, what teams have you been looking at? What teams have you been watching, whether it's on demand or anywhere on the internet? Like, when you're thinking of what's Reece and Rogan going to be, like, what have you been studying for that?
Like, it's hard to find people like us, I'd say. 'Cause I mean, you have people like Natural Disasters, but they're all huge and they're all like Nazis-esque. And they're all doing like the shoulder tackles and stuff. We kind of wanted to update it. We kind of wanted to be like, imagine two fit Finleys.
Yeah.
I don't think there really was like a certain tag team. We'd watch people like the Revival.
Yeah.
And we'd take like stuff, little bits from each tag team.
And just like make it our own.
Yeah.
From the Brainbusters as well and teams like that. Like from like old school, like who no one really knows about anymore or haven't seen for a while and try and make their stuff our own kind of thing.
Like we'd find like a sequence that say Regal would do.
Yeah.
And we'd be like, how could we make this a tag sequence? And we kind of just went from there. The bruisier, the better.
Yeah.
We just wanted everything to look nasty and realistic. We wanted people to think, all right, is this wrestling right now? Or they're just having a scrap. We wanted it to be just very like a brawl outside the pub.
Pretty much, yeah.
much.
We go in, kick the shit out of people and leave kind of thing.
Yeah.
And when we got Kev Cash as well, like we had to involve him in like certain things, which is really good as well. Like that makes us stand out from pretty much every tag team in British wrestling.
Yeah,
because we've got a manager to involve now as well. It just gives us so many dynamics.
Yeah. Kev doesn't just want to stand there and tap on the apron. Kev doesn't just want to hold a microphone and talk. He wants to be like a part of the match. And I feel like managers are such a lost thing in wrestling, especially a manager that wants to be involved and take bumps.
Yeah.
And hats off to Kev. I mean, he really...
He got a hot dog put in his face, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like, Kev just wants to be involved.
And yeah, like
which is so good.
Yeah, definitely. Like Kev was somebody else that Nathan had like sang the praises, saying he's got such a good mind for wrestling, and managing is a lost art form. I think until AEW recently, you weren't seeing managers utilised correctly, and I think when you think of Kev's style, it would be trying to think, say, like a Jimmy Hart cross with how Rockstar Spud was in Impact, where
definitely.
He's happy to take the bumps, he's happy to look silly to progress your storyline or progress your match. How has that adaptation been then? So you've been working as a unit, and now, like Reece said, you've got that manager to fit that piece of the puzzle in as well. So how did you adapt to that? Did it come naturally, or did it take some work?
I think as weird as it sounds, I think it became better for us. I found it easier to have Kev there.
Yeah.
I found it makes us so different as well to every other tag team on the card, that every spot involving Kev you haven't seen on the card before, and for whatever reason, it kind of just came to us.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any studying we did.
No, it just makes us stand out more, doesn't it, to everybody else. Like Rogan said, you're not going to get another tag team on the card with a manager like Kev, who's willing to make himself look silly or do silly things just to put us over or the match over or our opponents over.
Yeah.
Like, he just brings a totally different dynamic to it.
Yeah. So you mentioned having that thrown together match behind closed doors in training. Rich Dunn's there, and then he's like, "Yep, we're going to move forward with this." What was that match like? So, where was it, and who was you against? And let's talk about that experience of the first time teaming together in front of.
First time teaming together in front of, I believe it was against Ace Matthews and Ben. Was it Benjamin Quill?
Possibly.
And at the time, I mean, it probably wasn't very good. It probably wasn't very tag teamy. We kind of just went in there and did like a brawling style.
Yeah, pretty much. Did our own thing, didn't we?
Yeah, it was very singles. I don't think our tag team stuff, I don't think we gelled properly until a few shows in.
Yeah, definitely.
So when you're thinking back, what match was it where you came back after that match and thought, you know what, this is going to work? That was good. That I enjoyed that.
What match would you say?
Possibly the one with Luke Jacobs and Tom Thelwell. I thought that was really, really good.
Yeah, that was at
at Nottingham, I think it was.
Yeah.
Like a pre-show for a WrestleGate show, and it was just very nasty. It was very planned last minute.
Yeah, just four people who just wanted to keep the shit out of each other. And we just gelled so well, didn't we?
Really did.
Like me and you, and then obviously Luke and Tom.
And then that match as well led to our Grand Pro wrestling debut.
Yeah.
Okay. How did that match lead to the Grand Pro debut then?
So Luke Jacobs had a show straight after with GPW.
Yeah. And
at the time, we'd already been to GPW with Lucas, just helping out, and Lucas had introduced us to the promoter. And then on this day, after we'd versed Luke Jacobs, he said to the promoter, "These guys are good. They've got a brawling style, and have a take a look at them. So yeah, big thanks to Luke Jacobs and Lucas Steele because it really helped us branch out.
Yeah.
So what was that experience like for you then when you're making that debut? Like you said, you did the a couple of like the pre-shows for WrestleGate, but that was still billed as an NGW Proving Ground show, and then you're getting that GPW spot in Manchester, I believe.
Yeah, Wigan it is GPW. Yeah.
So what was that experience like for you then? So it is more or less a brand new crowd, completely.
Straight away they hated us.
Yeah.
There was not fans of outsiders. We came in and we just started doing our brawling style.
Yeah.
It's a very what's the updated wrestlers? It's like very fast paced Grand Pro there. They're doing a lot of high flying stuff, and we come in with a much slower pace, a brawling style, and the crowd just absolutely hated us.
Yeah, they didn't like us at all, which obviously helped us.
Yeah, but I mean that's exactly what we want. We love that old school like heat style.
Yeah. I was going
our entrance and walking out on the stage, and just the crowd just booing the hell out of us.
Yeah.
It's a better feeling than getting cheered. I think it's weird, isn't it?
It really is. There was also a moment at Grand Pro where we attacked Lana Austin, which didn't go over well.
Yeah. How come you attacked Lana?
We're just not nice people, mate. She's the tag trophy holder.
Yeah, the tag trophy holder at GPW, isn't it?
Her and her brother are the tag trophy holders, and we just came in and headbutted her.
Yeah.
Grabbed the mic, cut a promo, and people just wanted
They just
wanted to get in the ring. There was people trying to get in the ring, and just it happens all the time. We went to Tidal, and there was grown men just like wanting to punch us.
Yeah. Working like some of the summer camps as well. Like I was getting the young kids kicking the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does that feel then? Because when you're doing that, and Reece, you mentioned there, you've been getting that reaction from children, you've been getting the reaction from other wrestling fans, you've been having that reaction from probably drunk men at Tidal. Like, how does it feel that every different age group you can get them to hate you, and that's what you want?
I feel like we're doing our job so well.
Yeah.
Like if everybody in the building is hating on us, like we're obviously doing a good job of getting the heat that we need.
Yeah, 100%. I'm a big fan of that, like ECW Dudley Boys. You know where they get that really bad heat, that old school heat. Everyone just wants to jump in the ring. Like I've been like slapped across the face by a fan. I mean, it's not very professional looking back, but I mean, I just really love that heat.
Yeah.
I can't imagine being a good guy. It's just I just don't think it's us. It's not us.
Okay. So you mentioned the headbutt on Lana then. I want to get your guys' thoughts on intergender wrestling. There'd been quite a big thing in the UK along with the speaking out movement. Then came a lot of people saying, well, we need to stop intergender wrestling. And it's like, no, they're not the same.
No.
What's your thoughts going forward, like working with female wrestlers?
I feel like long as it's done correctly, like Lana at GPW, she wrestles the guys quite a lot.
Yeah.
So she was like, you need to give me something to put me down kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like she was very...
Yeah, like
that's what I'm looking for.
She didn't want to just slap us. She wanted to punch us.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they view themselves as men versus women. It's just wrestler versus wrestler. And I feel like with a story, it can easily work. I mean, to put speaking out movement and intergender wrestling together it's not the same, is it? I mean, how can you put them two together?
Exactly. And I was quite surprised with some of the big names that would come out and was saying, oh, we need to stop intergender wrestling then. And it's like, no, they're athletes. It's not going to promote domestic violence. It's not going to promote this. Like you said, if done correctly with the storyline, and it's removing that barrier of, oh, well, if they're a female wrestler, they must be frail and fragile. And like you said there, Lana's like, you got to do something that's going to drop me because I hate men for a living. Like, she's not bothered. And there's people like Haley Ray where I know whenever she did seminars with NGW or would do intergender wrestling. She like hit me as if I'm one of the guys, because if you rein it in, I'm going to hit you 10 times harder.
Yeah, definitely. But to answer your question, yeah, I mean, we have no problems with intergender wrestling.
No.
Not all.
Brilliant. So you mentioned as well with GPW, it's a lot more fast-paced. You've got some of those high-flying tag teams, and it is, again, your style is getting, like, it's a lost art. I think the only people that are doing something similar would be, say, the Revival or the teams that work in NWA. How do you contrast to that then? When a lot of fans want that, right? We want 20 flips by somebody before we're even halfway through the match, and then here you two are just slowing it down. What do you think about the two contrasts?
I think it works in our favour, to be honest.
Yeah.
Let's say, like, we guarantee you on this poster, on this card tonight, you're going to see a 450 splash. You're going to see 100 drop kicks and super kicks. If us two guys come in and deny you of that, we deny you of the Canadian Destroyer, we deny you of the 450, we slow down your favourites.
Yeah.
We're going to get hit.
Yeah. But then also when they do eventually hit that move towards the end of the match, and it's not in the beginning of the match, like when they do hit it, then that's when the crowd get what they came for.
Exactly. We get our comeuppance. The bullies get put down by stopping all match of what the crowd want.
Yeah, exactly. So when you do that big face turn, does that mean you're going to be shooting star pressing and everything?
Nah.
We'll see, yeah.
So, again, you mentioned with your style, you're the bruisers, you're going out there, you're bullying everybody. And I know one of the matches you had with JD Boom, his tag partner, Colossus Kennedy, one of the biggest guys in British wrestling. What was that like for you, where essentially you can't beat the bullies because Colossus is like probably you two, JD Boom, and probably the referee all combined in one?
I can't speak highly enough for that match. We really, really enjoyed that match. And Colossus was nothing but professional. He wanted to highlight all three of his guys. And it goes back to the bullies getting their comeuppance. The story built up so well, and Boom finally got his revenge. And it was just really good storytelling.
Yeah, it was bullying Boom, then we found ourselves in the ring with this guy who we can't bully.
Yeah.
And like he just ripped our heads off, didn't he?
Yeah.
So, obviously, I think the last time I saw you two, it was the last WrestleVerse show, was it?
Possibly.
We weren't on the card, but we was there and stuff, yeah.
What would your style be if you ended up going into the portal and going into WrestleVerse, because it flips you like on you?
I really like that clown, mate. I really like the Rampage clown. I mean, I would love to be sidekicks of the Rampage clown, mate.
Yeah, that won't be a bad show.
Yeah, imagine Brogy the clown.
Or the Wrecking Ball clown.
That's it. If we go in the portal, we're going to be clowns.
I hope you come out to I came in like a wrecking ball.
Oh, God.
Oh, not this again.
There we go.
Surprisingly, you're not the first person who's mentioned that. And I've had a few photo edits sent to me, shall we say.
Would be a good entrance, though.
Be a good entrance. You mentioned earlier with the Mega Slam shows and getting kids kicking you and on the camps. What has your experience been like working those camp shows? Because again, completely different to anything else in British wrestling, whether it's Mega Slam, NGW, WAW, All Star. What's your experience been like working on the camps, and do you think that's what's helped your growth so quick?
Oh, massively, yeah. Like I did 6 weeks on the camps. I got to meet so many different people. I got to work with so many different people you can learn from. Like I worked with Styx, I worked with CJ Banks, I worked with John Schuyler. Like learning from those kind of guys is like you can't buy that kind of experience without being in there with them.
No, definitely. What's the best bit of maybe feedback you got working those guys then?
For me, obviously, whenever I first started, I was used to like the NGW shows, and like CJ Banks just told me just slow down, slow down and take your time.
Yeah, I feel like on camps, everything like means more. Like it's built around moments.
Yeah.
Like say the red cards and stuff,
Yeah.
or getting the heel, the bad guy getting caught cheating. That means so much more to people who aren't necessarily wrestling fans.
Yeah.
And the kids will just react so big to that on a camp show.
Plus, obviously, the camp shows are like a lot of people who are just there for the holidays, who may not have seen wrestling before. So, pardon me, you've got to just like introduce them to wrestling and show them this is what you do when they cheat, or this is what they do when the bad guy, or blah 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 blah. But it's just like so like it's such good fun.
Do you find it harder or easier with those kind of crowds? Because I know if you can get a reaction from somebody that's not a wrestling fan, then you can get a reaction from anybody.
For me in particular, I found it a bit more difficult. Like if I'm going in there and throwing like 10 punches, a lot of the advice I'd get was you don't need to do that here. You don't necessarily need to do that. You can just do one. Less is more, especially on the camps. And I did some NGW butlins, and there's like 1,000 people there, and I was like a nervous wreck. But when you're in there, it's just so easy because everything's built around, like I say, moments, and the families will react to pretty much anything. An arm drag on a show now doesn't mean much. But if you do that in front of families, it's the biggest thing they've seen.
Who was you working whilst on the butling camps?
So I was helping out on merch originally, but Nathan's car broke down and I took his place.
Yeah.
And it was me and Connor Renshaw versus Robbie X and man like Reece. And being a bigger guy, trying to keep up with them, oh, man. that was pretty intense.
I can only imagine. So how do you feel when, again, so you work in the camps, so if you're not working the camps, it's mainly being NGW, where it's still very family friendly, and you might go to somewhere like Tidal or BWR where you've made your debut. How do you feel with the contrasts there to going from the family friendly to maybe more the smart fans?
I can see the market for both. I prefer for our style, the smart fans maybe get it more, but I mean we're willing to adapt to the crowd. I like working with the family friendly people just as much.
Yeah, that's what you do as a wrestler. Then you've got to adapt to the environment and the fans you work in, the promotion you're working for.
Like on a family friendly show, we wouldn't necessarily be looking for the same heat we would be at a Tidal show.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Tidal? Aren't they going to be wrestling in a museum or something?
Yes, they are, and we might actually be seeing R&R there. But yeah, I really like Tidal. Yeah. We had a match with Jack Turner and B.A. Rose, and we had 10 minutes to impress, and we just went in there and we just kicked the shit out of each other. It was just really our style.
Yeah.
For me, it's one of my favourite matches, and the crowd ate it up because everything was snug, everything was nasty. It was just 4 big guys slapping, punching, headbutting each other.
Yeah, it was such good fun.
And it is again, we keep saying different, but it is something so different because you can go to some shows and every match is something similar. Yeah. And it might not be the same move in every single match, but you guarantee in that match you'll see a move or a spot that you've seen either the match before or the match before that. And 100%. It's very refreshing. And I think, and not to take away from the great work you do, sometimes can make it easier for yourselves to get such a reaction from the crowd because they get acclimatized to a certain style of wrestling, and then, like you said, you two come out there absolutely slapping meat with some other guys, and it's something so different. Everyone's like, actually, I needed this because it's such a good break in the show. Do you think that happens often for you?
Yeah, I think that's 100% the thing we're trying to do. We're trying to get over that old aggressive style. It's almost like an old Japanese style, I guess. We're just trying to be realistic is probably the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. Make people think we're actually kicking the shit out of people.
Yeah.
No, definitely. And obviously you made your debuts with BWR, another somewhat new company that's doing some fantastic things. And I think their last show before the COVID lockdown, they'd sold that show out, and they've been selling all those shows. So again, like, what was your experiences like with BWR?
BWR originally came from me taking part in a single elimination tournament. It was a Youth and Revolt tournament, and I got to like the final, and I think they was impressed with myself. And then they brought Reece in, and we started doing tag team stuff. And fingers crossed, we'll have some more BWR matches in the future.
Yeah,
it's really good there. I mean, they're really professional, and it's a place that we can definitely see ourselves in the future.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
With BWR and Tidal, both are two companies that have stripped all of their champions due to COVID because they didn't want people to get some ridiculous title reigns. Probably going to get a year in without even defending. The two, like, young upstarts like yourselves, does that make you optimistic about, especially, let's say, 2021, when all the shows hopefully are resuming and going back somewhat normal?
I'm guessing it just makes us hungry. Like, we want to work more places. We've been putting the work in over lockdown by getting ring time and being able to hit the gym and like get rid of them little nagging injuries what we've had.
Yeah.
So when 2021 does come around and hopefully wrestling will be back on, like, we'll be good to go, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think when it comes to belts, I think everyone, if you don't want to be a champion, if you don't want to be the best, then you probably don't want to be here. And for a tag team, the tag team champions is the world champion. We don't want to be the world champion. We want to be the tag champions wherever we go. We want it because we're working our asses off.
Yeah.
We want to prove to our mentors and to our peers that, all right, you can give us the ball, we can carry it, and you can trust us.
Yeah, we're just one of them guys who, like, the promoters are trusting us to lead, like, the tag team division.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's something that you guys will be able to do. Like, the companies we spoke about, BWR, Tidal, GPW, NGW, Megaslam, and I believe you use that Fighter Factory as well. Like, you're getting a lot more companies in the north, and it is great to see you branching out and going away from that, like, home promotion, and again doing your mentors proud. Is there anybody on the list that you're wanting to face when 2021 comes back? Like, you'd see Nathan in part of Team Sin with BWR, or
I mean, we would love to step in the ring with
definitely.
Myers and Robbie.
Myers and Robbie, yeah. The NGW Tag Team Champions. The Young Guns, now Ethan's healthy and good to go again.
Oh, definitely. I think that's a match that needs to happen.
Yeah.
The Young Guns versus R&R. That's a match that's just, on paper, it's just perfect. The styles, it's just...
Everyone knows what it'll be.
Yeah.
I think that could be, you get that match where it happens and it's really good, and then the promotion might book it again, or a different promotion might get wind of it and be like, oh, actually, like, we're already using these guys, let's bring in the others and have that match themselves. Is that the pairing you think that could be, say, that touring match where before you know it, you've wrestled each other 5 or 10 times in loads of different promotions?
That will be, like, great. Like, Young Guns are doing so many good things at the minute.
Yeah.
Like, they're doing the Progress, they're doing Future Shock. Like, yeah, that, like, it'd be incredible to, like, think of us to be on the same level as the Young Guns.
Yeah, they've got their experience on us. They're more experienced than us. But I mean, once we get in that ring, it's not going to matter because it's just going to be violent. It's a match that I guarantee you. I mean, put it on. I'm daring a promotion to put it on. Young Guns versus R&R, put it on.
I'm just looking in my back garden now, seeing if I could set up a ring.
Yeah, that's it. Just get a trampoline or something.
Yeah. So, like, long term, like, what are your goals? Like, does Kev follow you to all the other companies, or is it just mainly NGW?
He's in BWR with us.
Yeah. All depends on what the storyline is, what they want to come in, what they want us to do. Like, if the storyline needs a manager, like, we're like, well, we've got a manager, we've got Kev to bring with us if you need it. Certain companies don't want a manager with us.
Yeah.
Like, it all depends what the expectations for us are and where the story's going. Like, they might bring Kevin after a few bookings, if the story needs it, kind of thing.
I mean, I would personally like Kev everywhere with us.
Yeah.
I mean, that would probably be really good for us. And when it comes for goals, I mean, like you said, champions. I mean, we want to be the best, and that's the way we're going to prove it.
Yeah, I can just imagine it, like Kev, like in that promo picture, Kev's got all your titles on his arms, just like waiting.
Can't see Kev.
So going back to my previous mention before I just went off on a tangent, what are your goals for R&R?
Branch out.
Yeah.
This next year, I mean, we want to branch out. We want to build ourselves. We want people like our mentors to be like, yeah, these are our boys, and we can confidently put these anywhere. And we want to work.
Just want to work everywhere, don't we?
Yeah,
get experience.
Work everyone and everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is there a specific company where, like, when you just talk to each one, it's like, man, I want to go wrestle there. I think our style will suit that company.
I think Future Shock would be a good place.
Yeah, unfortunately, Rogan's separated his shoulder at the minute, so I've been going to train at Future Shock myself, which has been so good. Like, Sam Bailey is just a great man of wrestling.
Yeah.
I would like to make BWR and Tidal more regular. I think the two companies, like you say, would fit well with our style, our aggressive.
Yeah.
How did you separate your shoulder?
So doing an enziguri, a move that a big guy wouldn't do. So I mean, I leave my feet once and I injure myself.
Get rid of that face then.
This is why I don't do flips.
That's literally what I was going through my head. I was like, right, if that happens from an insecurity, please don't do shooting star presses. How's the recovery going? Like, what's the time scale? Like, injury's never good, but you're probably fortunate this is the best time to be injured.
Yeah, I was in a sling for like 5 weeks. I've just been able to get it off now, and I'm getting better by the day, getting stronger by the day. I've got home like therapy to do, and I'm healing better.
Yeah. So, Reece, you mentioned Future Shock. Are you going down there training, or are you being part of some of their shows that they're doing?
Just going down training at the minute, yeah.
Okay.
Trying to get our faces out there and just people get to know people.
Yeah.
Like Future Fight Factory Wrestling is a place that has given us a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
They've given us a lot of trust there, and that's a place that we are really enjoying as well. Looking forward to being there, and yeah, they've got some tag belts that we've got our eyes on.
What sort of freedom have they given you? What makes it so refreshing?
The trust us in like closing show segments. They're good. Yeah, and when it comes to matches and stuff, they're trusting us with whoever they're button with. Like some of their trainees.
Yeah.
They're trusting us to put on a good show with them.
Yeah.
They've given me a singles title match before, and just really good with us.
Yeah,
they've gone out the way to make us feel welcome, and yeah, can't say enough about FFW.
Oh, brilliant. So you mentioned Future Shock going down training. Again, for those that are listening, I've done a handful of series where it might be people where they've had one match or 5 matches just to give an insight of life as a trainee. But I guess that never really stops. Like, if you want to be one of the best professional wrestlers in the UK, utilize the amazing trainers we have. And you have some people, as soon as they've graduated out their academy and maybe gone on one different show, like, I'm not wanting to name names out, but they stop going training or they stop going to different seminars. And
yeah.
Why? How does that feel for you? Like, to make sure you go to these different seminars, and which seminars do you think of where for we learn a lot from them?
I think anytime Rampage puts on a session, I mean the styles, and I think we both look up to Rampage as every Brit Rest trainee probably does. I feel like you can never learn everything. You can never overlearn.
Yeah.
And I feel like every wrestler should be training. You should be still going to training seminars. And those that don't will probably hit a brick wall, but they probably won't be able to branch out.
Yeah, there's so many good people you can train with. Like Corey said, there's Rampage, there's Nathan and Matt Myers. There's like so many good trainers out there who you can get the experience from. Even if you take a tiny something you've learned from a session and you can adapt it to your own like personal style or anything, it's worth the money you pay to train.
100%.
So what have you learned from going with Sam Bailey then? Was it the first time you've been training with him?
Yeah, it's just like a lot more like Sam is really, really good at the wrestling, and he's really good at like character work and things like that. Yeah, Sam is just so good.
Oh, brilliant. So if people are thinking like, man, I want to see more of Reece Rogan, like when you're thinking back, what are your fond matches? What are the matches where like, if I had to show somebody like this is a match or these are the couple of matches I'd recommend them to have a look at?
I think for me, it would be the Tidal match versus Jack Turner and BWR. It's just 10 minutes of non-stop. It's that for me is probably top of my list.
Yeah.
And there's the one obviously what we mentioned earlier on with Luke Jacobs and Tom Velwell. There's any match we've had with Dara is really well put together. We had a match against Nino and Reece.
Yeah.
At where's the place?
For
an NGW main show kind of thing. The Hull City Hall show we had.
Yeah, the
the 6-man tag was so good. Like you get into wrestling and there's like places you want to wrestle at. Like my 2 places I want to wrestle at. One was Butlins, which I achieved, and then we achieved Hull City Hall, which is like it's Hull City Hall, isn't it? Like
that was our original goal, was City Hall, and to make our entrance and have our families there. That was really special for us.
Yeah, I can only imagine. And for those of you that aren't like familiar, Hull City Hall, especially for wrestling, is such a beautiful venue. Looks amazing on TV. And for these, it's not a Butlins camp where it's 1,000 or a couple thousand like families that aren't into wrestling. This is over 1,000 or around 1,000 people that are wrestling fans. Checking it out. These people on the balconies that look. It just looks. The visual is amazing. So what was that experience like? From it's one thing stepping out in front of smaller crowds, but when again, it's your ultimate dream, Hull City Hall. You're stepping out of that curtain and you're just seeing everybody in the lights and the TV. What was that like for you?
Terrifying. Legit, I was like so nervous.
I think it was like the first time as well that I had opportunity to stop and look around.
Yeah.
To stand in the ring and just take a second to look around and go, wow.
Yeah.
Like 2 years earlier, I was training, I was overweight, and I was struggling.
Yeah.
And with hard work, now I'm stood in the middle of the ring at City Hall with my best mate.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just an incredible feeling that, very fond memory.
What was that match? Was you teaming with Miles?
Yeah. We teamed with Miles Kamen to versus Bandicoot, Joe Nelson, and Callum Newman. All extremely talented young guys with bright futures.
Yeah, and again, it's that contrast. You've just 3 people that have got that fast pace, and So, what was the feedback you got from that then? Like specifically when you'd gone back through the curtain, it's arguably your biggest match to date. What was the feedback from whether it's Rich, Nathan, or your peers at NGW?
I remember it very positively.
Yeah.
It was all very positive, and it kind of blew us away because I'm like a big critic of myself. After every single match, second that bell rings, I'll instantly start doubting myself. I'll start telling myself this is wrong, that's wrong. But when we went behind the curtain, it was all hugs and claps on the back, and everyone from our mentors to our families. Just that day, everything was just perfect.
It was incredible, wasn't it?
I don't think I would have changed a thing.
Incredible experience. Like Roman said, the match went well. Our peers, our trainers, even Rich, they said it was really, really good, and they was proud of us for doing it. And like we couldn't have asked for more.
Yeah. So you mentioned your goals are very grounded. You just want to go out there and work more companies. But I feel like can't do a British wrestling interview without the big company that's here now with WWE. Obviously NXT UK, they've got their own performance centre in London. Just started shows again in the BT studio. But before all this, October 2019, I think it was, they actually came to Hull in the bonus arena. How does it feel for you guys? Like, say 10 years ago, and I'm not saying WWE is easy to get to now. Everybody there has deserved it. But it was always right. You need to be one of few people that get picked to go to America. But now they're based in the UK, and something that seemed so unattainable is it. You've got that direct pathway now. You know what you need to do to try and get there. How does that feel for you both? Is that something that you're working towards as that ultimate goal?
I think it's something that's not necessarily on our minds at the moment.
No.
I think we're still at that stage where we just want to branch out to British companies at the moment. We want people to know who we are. I mean, if the opportunity came, obviously it would be over the moon, but it's not necessarily something we're start thinking about.
No, of course not. No, like people get into wrestling, some people get into it just a hobby, but like me and Rogan, like we're taking it really, really seriously. Like if WWE did come calling, like it'd be incredible feeling. Like, yeah, like
it's great that people are getting opportunities, and it opens the door for a lot more people as well. Not necessarily just in NXT UK.
Yeah.
If people on the scene now go to NXT UK, it opens more spots for people out there.
mm.
Yeah, exactly, and really excited for what will come for you both in 2021. Like, hopefully, the shoulder heals nicely, ready for the start of all these shows, and
Thanks, Kurt.
wrestling in a museum. like, how's that even going to work? Like, is it an actual museum with like shit you should not be breaking?
I really don't know.
I have no idea. Like,
all I know is that we're going to get paid to have a scrap in the museum.
Yeah. YouTube calls
tick off the bucket list, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how it would work. I don't even know how they'd get the insurance for such. Like, you two nice and violent coming in like, yeah, cheers, Reece Rogan. That costs like $2 million.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an insurance case.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, shall we say.
So I know you've just got some like amazing new merch as well. So let everybody know, where can they find the merchandise, where can they find you on social medias, and support you going forward.
Merchandise can be in our bios or our Twitter. It's Sprits or Super Kicks, as he likes to say it. It's trending, it's TikTok new.
Yeah.
We've got our first T-shirt available, and with discount code, save 10% with Kicks 10 in caps, KIX 10, save 10%. And you can find it in our bios on Twitter,
Instagram.
Yeah, at Big Hoss Rogan.
And WB capital R Reece.
Brilliant. So yeah, make sure you like go follow those. Have a look at the t-shirts. I really do like them. So props to whoever designed those. I like it. And yeah, boys, thank you for coming on. Thanks for finally making this happen. And hopefully next year, somewhere down the road, when it's back to somewhat normality, we can do it again. See where you are like a year on.
Really appreciate it, Kurt.
Thanks very much, Kurt. We appreciate it.
Brilliant. So, guys, that was my interview with Reece and Rogan. Make sure you do follow them and support them with the merchandise. You can follow me, K Johansson Show. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe to go on all my other interviews. I won't reel them off because I'll be here forever and these two will start looking boring. But I have got some more interviews coming up with talent from China, Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, and Denmark. So make sure you check that out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.
Friday morning.